Hey everybody, I'm Indigo Forest and I'm sitting here with Paris Stephan.
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
We're here for part two, interview, hanging out on the business.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I always like doing interviews like these, so
yeah,
this is great.
It's nice to be able to sit down and talk. Like we both stay busy, like doing a bunch of stuff. And I know you just had a couple projects, actually, some singles that came out.
Yeah.
So one of my personal favorites is like an absolute banger is "Hear Some."
Yeah, I like that joint.
So like, what was like the biggest, I think, like inspiration or that made that song, or what started it?
Man, I gotta give a shout out to Nisha from New Society on this one because
Nisha, baby,
it was literally it came out of nowhere. And when I say it came out of nowhere, I mean it came out of nowhere. We last year we used to have these writing sessions at Tayshawn's house,
right?
So of course, shout out Tayshawn, as well.
New Society.
We used to have writing sessions at Tayshawn's crib where it would be, all the members of New Society. Vosh would be there. Taylor Ray was there. Ivy would be there. We would just be sitting around, just listening to beats, just talking, and just writing lyrics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Christopher was like, "Yo, I got this beat I've been working on. I want y'all to hear it." So he hit play, and Nisha, just completely out of nowhere, unprompted, she let out the iconic line, "I think I hear something," and we just kind of literally just took it and ran with it. Like, they were kind of throwing ideas around. I was like, "Yo, we need to go somewhere and turn this into an anthem."
Yeah. And shout out to Christopher. He makes fire beats. Like when you have like the ability to like make bars and beats and stuff like that. Like we were talking about Darian earlier. Like, shout out to Johnny X.
Johnny X, my brother.
Yeah, like when you have, and even Crypto, like it's like it brings like a whole new layer, like dimension to the artistry behind the music. And
absolutely,
and it's dope to have that like writing session kind of vibe too, because then everybody like feels comfortable enough to just like put on
just
their best
share.
work.
Yeah. Like I mean, we come up with so many ideas of just. You hear a beat and immediately a lyric comes out, or maybe you said something this way, but Christopher says, "No, I think you should say it this way instead," and that ultimately led to us creating that song. I mean, they walked outside and they came back in 10 minutes later, and my verse was done already. Yeah. My whole verse, beginning to end, I wrote it in 10 minutes. Right. Because that's just the type of energy I felt.
It was the vibe,
yes.
Too. Like you were all on that like wavelength.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I that's one of my favorite songs. People always go crazy for it when we perform at shows. It's very energetic, obviously. So, I always love performing that song. So shout out to Christopher and Nisha for, helping us bring that song together. I always hate calling it my song. I say it's our song.
Yeah, for
sure. So, we would never have been able to create that without that energy that we had in that session. So shout out to them.
Sure. Yeah. Check it out on all platforms. Hear Some. So
yes, sir.
And your other song, "What It Is like one of my favorites because it's like more sentimental. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like some of your stuff is like very hype. Some of your stuff is kind of like talking your stuff, but this one is like more like introspective. You know. And I like being like a sad boy, guitar dude. Like sometimes like. I relate to that a lot, and like it's cool with like alternative hip hop and like dudes like Rod Wave. I think like popularized like that more like sensitive kind of like hip hop and stuff too. So why don't you if you want to share with your audience, tell us a little bit about some of the inspiration. I heard you talk about it at shows in the past, but I'd like to hear it again.
Well, as some of you may or may not know, I went through a really bad breakup in 2021, and
COVID and stuff was going on too.
It was a lot going on, and I was depressed for a short period of time, or even you could say a long period of time. I didn't really receive any closure with that situation until like halfway through 2023. So you figure over a year and a half of just sitting with my feelings and being unable to really put it into words what happened. And then on top of that, in the year 2023, last year, I actually was dealing with some physical health issues as well. I was suffering from vertigo. for about 5 months. If you don't know what vertigo is, basically your equilibrium is off. So you get dizzy really easily, like extremely easily. So, for about 4 or 5 months, I couldn't work.
Right.
I was kind of just cooped up in my apartment, just, having arguments back and forth with the insurance company and my job, trying to figure out if I was getting paid or not.
Right.
Ultimately, I didn't.
Making sure your stuff is right.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I remember seeing you at the block party, and we talked a bit about it there too. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad, through those times of struggle, like being able to take those memories and those feelings and put it into like a piece of art, I think is just like one of the most beautiful things we can do as creators.
Yeah, and I tried to do that with that song. I didn't even write that song until like maybe November of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't during one of the writing sessions with New Society, but it was around that same time period where they were happening. So I think the first time I performed that song was in January of this year, January 2024, at the Lyrical Lounge at the Wickyard. So shout out to Larry Lemuel, of course,
to Eric at the Wickyards too.
Yeah, absolutely, for giving us that opportunity. But I was just speaking from the heart about everything that I have been dealing with the past couple of years that led up to that song, and that was the first song that I came back. I call it coming back with, because for the second half of 2023 I didn't perform at all. The Yo West Fusion Fest last year was the last show that I performed all last year,
right? Because
I was just at home, trying to get my health back in order.
Yeah.
So that was I consider that one of like my comeback songs, and I was just trying to speak from the heart on everything that was going on.
Right, and I appreciate that as an artist, because I feel like it takes a lot to be vulnerable, especially on stage, in the booth and stuff like that. Like it's a little bit easier in your journal on your notepad. It's kind of like if you have that relationship with yourself, it's easy. It's a flow.
Yeah.
But performing that. And like actually telling people, I'm about to share my heart with y'all. Like, can you say that? Like, can I talk to y'all real quick? Like you'll address the audience in that way. Like, and that's actually a thing with like interpersonal communications. Before you like vent to somebody, be like, hey y'all, I'm about to drop this on you. Like just as like a respect. and I love that, like at a respectful level, but also just like the artistry behind it is really cool. The way you did it, I feel like it was like respectful. It was like very like put together, like it feels like a complete idea, but it also like as a writer, my favorite stories per se are like kind of open. That's like the what it is kind of thing. It's like, this happened, but like we got to keep moving.
Exactly.
Like, and that's kind of like the vibe I get from that song. So definitely check that song out.
Yeah.
If you're going through something, or you have something that like you've been through before, I feel like you can relate to this song for sure. And shout out P, doing his thing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. After the Fusion Fest, I feel like that the energy was like so hype. I feel like we all like went through different things. Like I went through a big breakup during that time, like 7 years breakup. Wow. Like, so like it, like we all, I think it was like a metamorphosis time. Like, you know what I mean? We're all going through like our changes, our planet's going through changes and shit. Like, so it's just like, times are changing, and it is what it is.
It is what it is,
the most out of it.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the Fusion Fest last year was your last show of last year. So this year's Fusion Fest, though, like, how are you feeling about it? Part 2.
Super, super excited, man, because I think my word for the year has been momentum.
Yeah.
After taking a 5-month, 6-month break from no music at all. I'm blessed and thankful to say that I've had a show every single month this year, and sometimes multiple shows in a month. So, like I said, I'm grateful for any opportunity I have to perform. I don't take it for granted.
Right.
And I feel like the Yo West Fusion Fest is something that we all kind of been building towards since last year.
Right.
And I'm excited to light the fireworks, so to speak. Get that bomb kicked off, because that was probably the most exciting show I've ever been to. And I said, I'm thankful to have been a part of it, but just to witness everybody, do their thing. And
y'all really showed out for that. We had like 300 people show up. So
I believe it.
Like the audience, like you guys, I mean, like, thank you.
Thank
you. You guys made that a really fun time. Derek, Nate, Jamie, all the workers at Westside Bowl, because I know they were short staffed that night.
Yeah,
but Nate was working his ass off.
It didn't look like it. They had everything under control, from our point of view.
But it was smooth. Yeah, it was very smooth. And, the market was like fun. This year we have brunch during the marketplace too, so it's a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And, Dr. Goo's going to be back. Botman's going to be back spinning tunes.
Okay.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Sam Matthews going to be here. His first time at the Fusion Fest.
Yes.
Spinning tunes. So I'm excited for him to be there because he's got some of the best mixes.
Yeah, man.
That he really does, and I love his energy.
I say AKA is the best DJ in 2 cities. That's Youngstown and that's Pittsburgh. He's very popular. Booking weddings for people, doing shows in other cities and states.
Yeah.
AK is the man. So shout out to you. I'm excited to hear what he got going on.
Yeah, for sure. So now with the Fusion Fest, so last year, I think looking back, what was some of your favorite memories?
Well, I really loved the atmosphere in the basement. Mm-hmm. Even though it was hot
as hell.
It was hot as hell, but
yeah,
I like close knit, intimate shows like that where you can bump the person next to you and say, "Yo, check this out!" I'm loving this song right here. Mm-hmm. So I love the atmosphere in the basement. I personally loved the fact that we were able to celebrate all the artists' birthdays last year. Because with it being smack dab in the middle of July, I believe there was literally 10 or 11 of us who were all celebrating birthdays in July.
Definitely.
So Nisha's birthday is in July. Yeah. Nigel, me, you, Curly. Yep. Curly's birthday was in July. All these people's birthday was in July, and I know I'm forgetting some people. I think Grizz's birthday is in July. Yep. So the fact that we was able to, it was a big birthday party. You know what I mean? Yeah. It had that kind of feel to it, and that was one of my favorite parts from last year for sure.
Definitely. And by this time, we've all been hanging out with each other or known each other for at least 3 to 6 years, depending. And it just feels like we're building a community, with B Willie and even Nas, back in the day at Susie's, they used to do the jungle. And Nasir's been coming back into town and stuff, and B Willie's always been doing this thing. So it's just nice to see more and more. And they're actually having a jazz fest downtown at the amphitheater, I think the week before.
Okay.
So it's just there's more and more of these events happening. It's in some cultures, every day is a holiday.
Right.
And I feel I just want Youngstown to have the same opportunities as those bigger cities and stuff like that. And I just love being a part of that. I love the community help. I love our sponsors, have been showing up this year and helping out. And that's something I'm new to, you know what I mean? And Run It Back Gaming, actually, Rob is actually going to help sponsor. So shout out
to the Rob. Boys, my team.
Because you put me on to them. And I hope next year we could work out a tournament, but I got to be on top of that stuff too. I got to schedule a year in advance, right after the Fusion Fest.
Right. Okay. So about next year.
Yeah. But it's exciting, man. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for local merchants. There's going to be 12 or 20 merchants this year.
Wow. Okay.
About 20 performers. So we're literally, told Larry, we're literally doubling up. So
last year.
Yeah. And it's giving people more opportunity, more of a showcase, because I've had so many people hit me up about it in the last couple months and just be oh, can we do the Fusion Fest? Can we do the Fusion Fest? And I want to put everybody on, but it's just we already have the lineup.
Yeah.
So
right.
it's just shout out to everybody who just has made this, the artists, you guys believed in the vision.
Oh, from day one.
From day one.
As soon as you explained it to me, I was where do I sign? Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, and that helps me as a curator too, because sometimes I'd be nitpicking myself, and I feel we all do that as artists and stuff. So I'm really excited, man. And what do you think the projects that you have coming up, maybe after the fest or during the fest? Do you have anything else that you're about to drop?
Man, I keep saying I'm gonna put an album out, but I'm so caught up with the million ideas that I want to execute, and starting things and not finishing them and transitioning to move on to other stuff.
Right.
So before this year's up, I had a conversation with Crypto Devon, in January of this year. Actually, when I was recording What It Is, I was recording What It Is at Crypto's house.
Yeah, shout out to Crypto.
Of course, shout out my dog. But we had a conversation earlier this year. The only two goals that I have for the rest of this year, music wise, are put out a music video and put out a complete project. So I am working towards that. I do plan on shooting the Hear Something music video at some point throughout this year. I've been talking with New Society. I've been talking with Royalty the Visionaire. Shout out my dog. He's been busy doing his thing. Nationals. He's a boxer.
Yeah, he's at Nationals right now.
Right.
Boxing. He's maybe fighting like as we speak.
He punches somebody in the face right now.
Kick their ass, bro.
Yeah, he's a real solid dude. I just I take it upon myself because I've been super busy with work.
Yeah.
And I took a trip to Chicago last month with Running Back Gaming. So that kind of took away from a lot of the time.
I know that was fun, man.
Oh,
that was your first time in Chi-Town, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an absolute blast. I didn't go for music; it was for a video game tournament because I'm part of a gaming organization as well. So I went out there to compete in a Mortal Kombat tournament, and actually, the studio that makes Mortal Kombat is based in Chicago.
Oh wow!
So the creator of Mortal Kombat was there.
Yeah,
I got to meet him. I got to shake his hand. I got to talk to him.
That's epic.
I didn't, do so well in the tournament, but I don't even care because the weekend was just so much fun. I was able to meet the creator of Mortal Kombat, so that was awesome. But because of that, I haven't, that time period I was away from music. I wasn't, thinking about music at all. It was just everything about that tournament. So
yeah,
I want to get back to, recording music and hopefully recording that music video. And then I do plan on putting out a project sometime before this year's up. I have to because Crypto told me to. So I got to do what my dog said.
Yeah, we gotta motivate each other.
Exactly.
Stay on each other sometimes because nobody likes to be on an island, man. And we need that brotherhood or whatever you want to call it, that family atmosphere. And I've had songs I was talking to Larry. I was I think I got 30 songs right now, but a lot of them just need mix and match.
Yeah,
there's other ones that I'm just man, these ones are done. So I probably have 15 that are close to done.
Right. Yep.
And I'm just man, I gotta hit up somebody. I have a few friends who have studios, and it's just sometimes you need somebody there who just knows a little bit more than you,
right,
to help push you.
That's exactly what I look for, because I know I don't know everything. So I appreciate the knowledge that Crypto will be giving me when we talk. Yeah. Same thing with Christopher. They're just genuine good people who just want to see you succeed.
Right. Everybody win. Yeah.
I appreciate that from them and everybody else that I work with as well.
Yeah. Well, that's been the business. And we gave it to him straight. So we got a music video potentially coming up for Hear Something.
Yes, sir.
Hear Some. And Paris Stephan on all platforms.
Yes, sir.
Is where you can find him. He's got YouTube. If you guys are into gaming, he's got a YouTube channel for that. His TikTok be going crazy as well with the gaming videos. So shout out to him. And it's always a blessing having you, man.
Thank you for having me. I want to say, make sure you guys show up to the Yo West Fusion Fest on July 20th. It is a Saturday, I believe. It's a Saturday?
It's a Saturday. Yeah, we start at 12.
Yep.
And then we end at 1.
Yeah, 1 a.m. Yeah. It's going to be an all-day event. There's going to be, like you said, 20 artists, 20 different vendors, selling clothing and candles and jewelry and snacks and whatever you name it is probably going to be there. It's going to be an amazing show. Last year was probably the most exciting show I've ever been a part of. And I expect this year to be twice as big.
Right.
So make sure y'all pop out and come show us some love. I will be there performing, of course. And it's going to be a great time.
Right. And they canceled the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. So you don't have an excuse. You'll have to come now.
So now I guess Royalty got to be the main event. He's going to be fighting somebody on stage.
Right. Hey, anything to get people out, man. No shit. But stay tuned in. Subscribe to Paris's channel. On your YouTube, it's just Paris Stephan as well.
Yeah, you can, anywhere you look for me, my socials is at Paris Stephan 330. So that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's YouTube, that's SoundCloud, and then Apple Music and Spotify is just Paris Stephan. You can find me, anywhere you get your music at. So go ahead and look me up.
Much love, P.
Appreciate it.
Signing out.
This is The Business.
The Business.
We're out.
Get easy with the complaining. Life ain't always gonna be sunshine. It's hard to see it when it's just raining, but it's flowers growing at the same time.